The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening. This is Rohan. Just give me 1 minute over here. We're just waiting for a few people more to join in, and then we can start our session. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Hi to all. So we have Amulya, Mazhar, Sharad Kumar, and Srini Vasalu on the line. Good morning or good evening, everyone. So I guess people from different parts of the world have joined in. So hi to all. Good morning or good evening. Yeah, hi Sharad. Hi to all. I just want to confirm, guys, that you can see my screen and the audio is proper. Just in case if there's some kind of audio cuts or video cuts or you're not able to see the screen, you can just let me know. All right. So since this is our first session of this course, today it would be a kind of an introduction kind of session where I'll introduce myself and I'll have you guys introduce yourself one by one. Right now, you are on mute by default. The reason being because we keep the attendees on mute to avoid the background noises, because each and every session gets recorded. So to avoid the background noises in the recordings, we keep all the attendees on mute by default. So as an admin, I have the privilege to put the people off the mute so that they can speak out. Right? That's the first thing. Now, this is a GoToWebinar tool. I'm not sure whether you have used it before. Now, this on this tool, there is a window for the chat and posting your questions. So just in case if you have any questions or you want to type anything, you have the chat window and the question pane. Right. Now, just in case if you want me that you want to speak out, in that case you can raise the hand. If I'm saying raising the hand, it's not a physically raising the hand. You have an icon to click on raise the hand. So it's a symbol with an off hand. You need to click on that one, and I would be notified that okay, someone has raised the hand. So I can put that person off the mute. All right. So that's about the GoToWebinar. I just want to make you familiar before we can start. I can see that people are still joining in. So Nilesh Patil, Mahesh Gupta has joined right now, and P. Shrikanta. So hi to everyone for the people who have just joined in right now. Yeah, good evening, Mahesh. All right. So I'll start with the introduction. I'll introduce myself and then I'll just call out the names. So we have Amulya, Mahesh Gupta, Mazhar, Nilesh, P. Shrikanta, Shrath Kumar, and Srinivasulu on the line. So I introduce myself, then I'll call out the names, and you guys can introduce yourself. You can just let your name, your background, where you live. Okay. So regarding myself, my name is Rohan Arora. I'm located in Delhi, right? And I would be your trainer for this entire batch. I'm working as an AWS architect and a part-time trainer, and I've been doing so for the past 5 years. I've been associated with Edureka for quite a while now, and I have taken many batches, especially the AWS on their behalf. Now, teaching is my passion, because apart from working as a day-to-day job as an architect, it's my part-time passion or the hobby to share the knowledge that I've accumulated so far. And I suppose that you guys are also coming from different rich backgrounds, because people from database, software, testing, administration, project management, all these kind of people are the kind of aspirants for the AWS course, right? So this is about myself. Just in case if you want to know more, you can just let me know what thing you want to know about me, any question you have regarding the course. Now just call out the names one by one. Put the people on mute, and you can just tell your first name, first and last name, your experience, I would say the professional background, and where you live right now, where you put up. So I'll start with Amulya. So Amulya, I'm just putting you off the mute. You can introduce yourself. Hi Amulya.
Hi Rohan.
Hi.
I'm Amulya Edula. I live in US. I just done with my masters, and I'm looking for a job.
Okay, you just completed your masters.
Yes.
Okay, in what stream?
It's computer science.
Computer science. Okay, that's good. Good to know, Amulya. So welcome to this batch. And since you have just passed out from the college, so I can very well understand that you'll have a lot much enthusiasm to learn this course, and this can help you to get a good job ahead. So thank you. Thanks for the introduction.
Thank you.
Next, unmute Mazhar Khan. Mazhar, I'm just putting you off the mute. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, Mazhar.
Yes, myself Mazhar Khan. I am residing in Delhi, and my occupation as a currently I have done BCA, and it is my fresher job in Edureka in AWS. I am fresher in this field, and I am not also programmer and not software as well.
Okay, got your point. All right.
I have
Thanks, Mazhar.
I just fresher on this field in Amazon Web Services in cloud computing. That's why I joined this course, AWS.
Yeah, it's fine. Even if you're a fresher, even if you don't have that much expertise in the cloud computing, it's absolutely fine.
Yes.
Okay. And which part of Delhi you located, Mazhar?
At NCR, near Delhi NCR.
Near Delhi NCR. Okay. Thanks for the introduction, Mazhar, and welcome to the batch.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next, I'll unmute Sharath Kumar. Hi, Sharath.
Hi, my name is Sharath Kumar. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Sharath. You can carry on.
I'm from Hyderabad. Currently, I'm working with Lexis Limited as a technical support into middleware admin. My education background is I'm into BA. I have the IITS experience in the technical field. This is the first course I'm taking on cloud-based. For this, actually, I want to ask one thing. For this, we don't require any development language like C, Java for this.
It's not required.
It's not required.
No, it's required. It's not required. It's not mandatory for you to have the programming skills for this course. If you have, it's an extra edge. It's an extra advantage if you have that. Anywhere in the course will not use any kind of any programming skills or language. We'll use a little bit of Linux, but we will not use any Java, C#, C++, Python, Ruby. We will not use that. But yes, once you're done with AWS, then you can go for any kind of programming language.
Yeah, I have experience on Linux, and since I'm working on it since 5 years, Linux.
Okay, that's a good thing. If you know Linux, then the commands that I will show you, it will be easier for you to grasp that.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Sharath, for your introduction, and welcome to this batch. Next, I will unmute Srinivasulu. Yeah, hi.
Hi, Rohan. Good evening, everyone, and good morning for a few of them who are residing in the US. My name is Srinivas, and I have 10 plus years of experience in banking domain in testing area, and I live in Hyderabad, and looking forward for this AWS course. And
okay,
I have a question for you.
You're from the banking domain.
Yeah, banking domain and the testing experience. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you also teach the basics of Linux over this course, or
No.
No,
it's not covered in the scope of this course. See, knowing Linux is not mandatory.
Okay.
But if you know that, it's an extra advantage.
Okay.
I will not use more than, I would say, the 5% of the Linux over here. More than 5%, maximum 5%.
Okay.
So even if you don't get those things, you can do that later on, but it's not mandatory.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay. Any other question, Srinivas?
I think that's it from this side.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Thanks. So next, I'll unmute P. Shrikanta. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi, Rohan. Hi, all. I'm Shrikant. Actually, I'm just from Bangalore. So I have almost like 12 years of experience in big data. Basically, I work as a Hadoop admin and middleware admin. So I work with Nokia, where we have worked with the Nokia analytic solutions. So I'm from a big data background.
Big data background.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. There's a huge scope of the big data in the market.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So how come you're coming to the AWS?
Actually, like we have planned to move to cloud, basically to leverage AWS. So I just want to learn the AWS at this moment.
Okay.
So
all right, that's a good thing. So thanks for the introduction, Shrikant, and welcome to the batch. Next, I'll unmute Nilesh Patel. Yeah, hi Nilesh.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Nilesh Patel. I have 2 years of experience in DevOps, and I'm residing in Bangalore.
Nilesh, your voice is not coming up properly. We just got to know that you're working in the DevOps field. After that, we are losing your voice.
Yeah. So, are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, but not that much. You can carry on.
Yeah. So that's let me start it from the beginning. So this is Nilesh Patel, and I have 3 years plus experiences as a DevOps engineer, and I'm currently residing into Bangalore.
In Bangalore.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's good. Thanks for the introduction, Nilesh, and welcome to the batch. Thanks. Next, I'll mute Mahesh Gupta. Yeah, hi, Mahesh.
Hey, good morning and good evening, everyone. So I'm based out in Dallas, Texas. So I have mostly kind of 14, 15 experience, mostly on the database side. So I belongs to like Delhi way back, like a couple of years back. So I moved to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So, but currently I'm working in a financial analytical domain. So I'm mostly a DBA, which and infrastructure database engineering. But that's what I do. So my objective from the course is to make sure, like, how can I migrate some of the databases from my in-house environment to the cloud. So it's not a immediate requirement, but I'm looking do a lot of consulting also, like other than the job, like the way you do the. So that's the whole objective. I'm going ahead with this course.
All right, that's a good thing. I can see that you can coming from a very good experience, so you'll be able to benefit your past experience, and if you can incorporate those things on the AWS platform.
In the last, I have attended one of your course, right? But somehow it was in the late night, and I felt sleep like after half an hour or something. So that's the reason I canceled that and joined in the morning.
Okay, that's why I'm saying that I've seen your name before. Okay,
Yeah.
so which batch you have joined before? Which batch?
I think 3 or 4 weeks back, there was a night, like for my time, it was like, it started at 8:30 and ends at 11:30 p.m. So it's kind of a 7 to 10 p.m., 7 to 9 a.m. kind of in the morning.
Okay.
Delhi.
All right, that's a good thing. So you're very much aware of my or the things that I normally.
Correct. At least on your delivery methodology, yes.
Okay, so you're pretty much familiar, so that's why. All right, that's a good thing, because these are comfortable timings for you to study, and morning is the best time. Morning is the best time for studying.
But
Yeah.
somehow, because normally my office starts at kind of, I leave home at 7 o'clock, so if a person needs an 8-hour sleep, he has to be in a bed by 11 p.m., right? If you call me, like,
You're right.
right, so that's somehow messed up my complete schedule.
No. I can understand. So it's a good thing you have changed the batch and you have chosen the appropriate timings. Right. So welcome to the batch, and thanks for the introduction again. Thank you. All right. So that's all. About the people, and it's a good thing to know that people from different backgrounds have joined in, and we can now share our expertise or past experience, because it's all about now getting to learn more things and sharing it. Okay, so I'll try to keep this this batch as interactive as possible. So even this is an online class, please don't hesitate to ask as many questions as you want, because at the end it's your call. Now you're spending your time, money, effort on this code, so get the best out of it. And I always say to all the people that I interact with, that even if you get the best trainer in the world, right, 80% of the effort should come from you and 20% from the trainer, because as a trainer, he or she is responsible to show you or guide you that where you have to go. So it's up to you that whether you walk to that path or not. So in a nutshell, what I want to say is that even if I teach the concept, you have to do the self-study, because self-study is the best study. We have been listening to that from the school days. So the thing is that I've discussed all the topics, all the concepts. I'm here for you to work on your doubts. But it is that you have to perform the self-study, come with your questions and answers, and make this class as interactive as possible. Right? So I have given you the introduction about the GoToWebinar, that if you have any questions or if you have any doubts, you have the chat window, question pane to type in the questions. Optionally, you have the symbol to raise a hand so that I can put you off the mute and you can speak out your question or your comments. Now, I'll just walk you through the edureka.co LMS site. I guess all you guys have got access to it. Just in case if you haven't got it, you can let me know. But I think that you all have access. So the site is edureka.co, and you have to So once you go over there, once you log into your LMS or educa.course site, you have to just go to the courses and just go to My Courses to see the list of the courses that you've enrolled for in the Educa. Now once you go to the courses section, you will get this AWS Architect Certification Training, and you need to click on this one. Now this LMS or the Learning Mammoth system is the repository for you to access all the PPT slides, quizzes, contents, recordings. Now once you go over here, you can give your course feedback and you can see the pre-recorded classes. Now these are all recorded classes of the previous batches. So many people complain that no, we have to have some kind of material or recordings to study first, and then we can see the lecture. So these are all the pre-recorded classes of the previous batches. Under the new course content, you will get all the slides, and also you'll get the recordings for each and every module that we will cover. So for each and every module, you have the presentation, quiz, assignment, and also optionally you'll also get the recording. So each and every session, even this session is getting recorded. So entire 3-hour session is getting recorded and it gets uploaded over here. So within 3 to 4 hours, this gets uploaded and you get a notification that, okay, the video has been uploaded, you can access it. Right? So this is the Learning Mammoth system or LMS, where it's a repository and you can access all the contents from here. It's a recording, presentations, quizzes, and assignments. Now just in case if you face any trouble accessing the content, you can open a support ticket. Now once you log into the LMS, on the top right corner where you can see support, you can just click over here and you can just select the course you're in right now, select the option, you can just type in your question and post a question over here, and the support guys will get back to you. Alright, and apart from support, so this is the LMS and everything. Now after that, once you have access to the LMS, the next thing that I want to discuss is that at the end of each session, you get a feedback form. So once the session gets over, you get a feedback form. Okay, so you have to give the rating for the content and for the instructor. So it is always advisable that at the end of each session, please fill in the feedback form, because it is mandatory for us to get the feedbacks depending upon which we can improve further. So we take the feedbacks constructively, whether it's positive or negative, and based upon your feedbacks, we work further to improve our customer experience, improve the content, improve the style of delivery of the lectures, and so on. Right. So this is all about the LMS, and I've given you the course feedback, the information of the course feedback that you have to give at the end of each session. Amul, I'll come to you. Your question is, can you please tell us how AWS is used in DevOps build? I'll come to that. Okay. So that's about the AWS Architect Certification Training and LMS codes, contents, and everything. All right. So you have the slides over here. I guess you have access to the slides, quizzes, and assignments. Now, these slides that I'm using, now these are the slides that are on the LMS. I may use some slides or some of the contents that is slightly different from what is present over here. Apart from that, I'll just give you a link where you can download the slides that I may show you apart from the slides that are mentioned over here. The reason being because AWS is very fast. They keep on changing the contents on weekly or monthly basis. So sometimes these slides are not that much updated. In that case, I use my own slides for some of the modules. So I'll give you the link where you can download those slides. Right. So that's about the LMS. So any questions, any doubts, you can let me know before I can just move further. All right. Now, once you have come to the Amazon Web Services, I'll just brief you about a little bit that what are the course contents that you can get from the internet for free, right? Because as of now, there is no book available for the Amazon Web Services, no dumb questions are available on the internet. So it is all that you have to put your entire hard work and the effort to get the best of the knowledge from the documents that are available on the internet. I'll also share the material, but there are some things that you can get over the internet for free. Now, first thing first, before I can just jump over to the theoretical content, you have to sign up for this website called aws.amazon.com. I'm not sure how many guys you have access to it or you have registered for it. Now you have to sign up for this account, and this is called the AWS Management Console. So let me show you. Let me sign in. Now the sign-in procedure is extremely, I would say, accurate and easy. Nothing too much about it, but yes, you have to put the debit card and the credit card information for the sign-in procedure. It is mandatory. So aws.amazon.com. I'm just typing in this URL on the chat window. You get a free tour account that is free for entire 1 year, but there's some restrictions to it. So I'll just let you know what are the restrictions later on. But this is the entire AWS Management Console that you can access to access the contents. Now this kind of the features and the services that you will see or access, these are the same services or the features that you will be able to see and access in the real-time environment. The best thing about the Amazon Web Services is that you don't have to run anywhere or set up any hardware to perform the lab sessions. It is just that you have to have a 1 Mbps speed of the bandwidth of your internet connection, and you're good to go. Okay. So this is called the AWS Management Console, through which you can spin up your resources, manage them, deploy your entire architecture from this console or the web page. So this is the exercise for you today. That for those guys who don't have access to the AWS Management Console, please sign on. It will not take more than 5 minutes of your precious time, and this is mandatory. And I've seen people are reluctant to type in their debit card or the credit card information. Please don't be reluctant, because if you're using it wisely, the Amazon Web Services will not deduct even a single rupee. Okay, so this is about the AWS Management Console, and this is the mandatory thing for you to sign on. This is an exercise for you today. So this is about the lab sessions, how you can perform that. The other resource to perform the lab session is called the Run Quick Labs. It's called run.quicklabs.com. I'll just copy and paste this link for you. Now they are partner. Now this is not the AWS site, and they are partner with the Amazon Web Services, where you can sign in for free, and you can perform some other free lab sessions. Some are paid. I would suggest don't go for the paid labs. Now these labs that are showing as credits, these are paid labs. 1 credit is equal to $1. Don't go for that. Go for the lab sessions where you don't have to pay the credits. For example, this one, working with Elastic Load Balanced ROM. It's not showing up the credits. You can use it for free. Introduction to DynamoDB, it is free. So you can get some of the free labs. So let me show you the dashboard. Where is that? Okay, this is the lab catalog on the top. So you can see over here, most probably the beginner lab sessions are free. For example, this one, DynamoDB, is free. Right? And if I just go over here, so I guess 20 to 30% of the lab sessions are free. You don't have to pay the credits for all one. For example, let's go for the databases. So some are free. For example, this one, RDS. And apart from, even if you're not able to so for example, some of the lab sessions are paid. In that case, I would say that don't go don't pay over here. You can at least download or see the content what they have shown you in the lab sessions. For example, let's suppose I go with auditing your security using Trusted Advisor. I hit select. Now this requires 10 credits, which means I have to pay. Each credit will be around $1. So I'll not pay for that. I just now check out this manual and see the steps. What steps they have followed to show me each and everything. So you can see this is downloading. So you can follow along these steps. So these are the lab manuals that you can refer to. Right now it's loading up right now. Let's turn off Wi-Fi. So these are the lab manuals or the catalogs that you can refer to and perform the lab sessions on your AWS Management Console. You will get the step-by-step instructions, very neat and clear instructions. So don't shell out the money to pay to perform the lab sessions. If you have extra money, you can give it to me, but don't pay credits or the dollars for performing the lab sessions. So you can see that these kind of steps, they're quite easy to follow, and you can simulate that on your AWS Management Console. Plain and easy. So I've just copied and pasted the link for you. So these are the two things where you can perform the practical sessions. Now coming to the theory. Now you have to dive into the theory to get the best out of it. The reason being because if you don't know the theoretical concepts, you'll not be able to understand even a knack of what I will be discussing in the practical. Because I've seen that people, they focus, no, we need to do practical, but they don't worry about the theory. Theory is very important. What I'm saying is that if you are very much aware of the theoretical concepts, practical is very easy. Nothing much about it. It's not a rocket science. Now, the first thing to where you can just get the documents is called aws.amazon.com/documentation. Now this is a Bible where you get the documents of almost all the services. Now people sometimes they're afraid these documents are too large and they contain so much information. So that's why I'm here, to make the things easy. What I'm saying is that in the free time you can refer to these documents. Additionally, you can also go for AWS white papers. White papers means that any kind of updates, any kind of research programs, any kind of case studies they have, you can follow along these white papers. So I'll just copy and paste the link for you for the white papers as well on the chat window. So you have documentation, white papers. The next thing that you can refer to is the updates. So type in aws.amazon.com/new. So over here you can see all the updates by the month and the date. Because Amazon Web Services, they're extremely fast. They keep on coming with the updates on daily, monthly, and weekly basis. So if you are jumping into this field, you have to take the pledge that, okay, I have to perform the self-study at least once a week, even if you become an AWS expert. So the learning will never stop over here. Okay. So I'm just copying and pasting this link for you. All right. So documentation, white papers, new, and they also have the blog as well. Or I forgot the name of this, the forums. Okay, they also have the forums, or they also, okay, yeah, forums. So it's forums.aws.amazon.com. Now over here, you can post the questions for any kind of technical issues that you get. Normally, I also use these forums to put my queries. See, what happens is that if you're using a free tier account, the Amazon Web Services will not entertain your technical query. So any kind of building or technical query you have, you can use these discussion forums. Sign up for that one, and you can just use these forums to initiate the thread, and the developers from the Amazon Web Services will get back to you. Okay. So previously I was not using the forums too frequently, but I'm seeing that they're very, very effective. So the top developers from the Amazon Web Services, they respond to your query in a very quick and efficient manner. All right. So that's about the documentation and the resources that you can get free from the internet. Now, I've told you about the resources that you'll get from Edureka. I've told you the resources that you'll get from the internet. Now, I'll let you know the resources that I will provide you. I have a folder on the Google Drive where I have just put all my presentations that I will showcase you during the sessions. So I'm just sharing this link with you. From where you can just access or download all documents or the PPT slides. Okay, so I will just copy and paste the link for you for the Google Drive. So all the PPTs and the documents that I will be sharing with you in the future going forward, all are being saved over here. All right. That's about the resources. Now coming to the certification. If you have to want the knowledge about the certification, go to aws.amazon.com/certification. The URLs are quite easy to remember. I'm just copying and pasting this link for you on the chat window. Now this course is targeted for the people who would be going for AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate level. This one. Associate. Not the professional level, associate level. Right. Now from here, from this side, you can book the exam. You can just click on schedule the exam, and their examination centers are being managed by Criterion. For example, for the Microsoft Pearson and VMware, we have for the Microsoft Cisco and VMware, we have Pearson. For the Amazon Web Services, the exams are being managed by Criterion centers. You can just go book the exam over here, and you can just give the examination. The cost of the examination is $150 US. It's an 80-minute examination, and you'll get 60 questions. And the passing percentage is 65%. All right. So this is the certification that we will be targeting. The second one is Certified SysOps Administrator. I would say that optionally you can also go for this one because the topics are almost the same. There's there's not too much difference in the topics. It is only in the SysOps Administrator that there are much more emphasis on the management tools like CloudWatch, CloudFormation, CloudTrail. So the weightage of the questions are higher for some of the topics. But the number of topics or the topics are almost the same. So optionally, you can also go for the Certified SysOps Administrator, which costs you the same thing, $150 US. But I would highly suggest you that please go for these Architect Associate because you'll get an extra edge. Okay. So that's all about the resources that you will get. Now I have a question from Amulya. Give me 1 second. Can you please tell us how the AWS is used in the DevOps field? Amulya, see, DevOps stand for Development and Operations, where you tend to automate some of your or most of your infrastructure, whether it's Amazon Web Services, whether it's your own infrastructure, or any of the cloud computing platform. So DevOps is a different field. I'm not saying the different field. You will, in the DevOps field, if you go for the DevOps engineering certification in the Amazon Web Services, you will learn various tools like Chef, Puppet, Jenkins to automate your infrastructure. So this is more at the developer side. You need to have experience as on the developing code. So you should know at least high-level programming language. So this is more targeted for the developers. So you should know how to automate your infrastructure using scripts, using some kind of automation tools. Okay. So that's all for the resources that you will get. Any questions, any doubts that you have? No? Okay, Mazhar, you have a question? Yeah, I can see you have raising hand. I'm just putting you off the mute. Yes, Mazhar.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you have raising hand. Yeah.
Yes, one question is that I'm just fresher and I don't know any programming language, C++, Java, and these languages. There is in AWS or there is also language in this architect.
Yes, Mazhar. The thing is that if you're using the C++ Java, then you can use that language for the architect. It will be useful for you.
It is mandatory for taking language.
No, it's not mandatory. But if you know the language, it's an extra edge. It's not mandatory.
Okay.
If you know the language, it's an extra edge, but it's not mandatory.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Okay. Yeah. So Srinivas and Mahesh, the background noise was not coming from my side. Okay. So I guess it's fine now. All right. Okay. So that's all. Now, we'll just start with a brief introduction about the cloud computing. I guess most people know what the cloud computing is, but we'll just refresh our concepts about the cloud computing, what exactly it means, why we need to use that, what's the difference, and all those kind of things. So today's session, I'll just keep it as very, I would say, easy and cool. I'm not going to deep dive into more concepts, so it will be kind of introduction session so that I can just make it comfortable for the upcoming sessions. So let's start with the basics of the cloud computing. What cloud computing means. What is a cloud computing? A cloud computing is a model for enabling the ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. For example, networks, servers, storage, applications, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So we just don't go into the nitty-gritties behind such a lengthy definition. The simplest definition of the cloud computing can be that any of the application services you're hosting or anything you're storing, it is not being done in your premises or on your local servers or local machines. You are hosting your application and services, or you're putting the data in a remote data center in a remote hardware. For example, let's suppose you use a Google Drive, Dropbox. So you're saving all your data in some remote data center in a remote hardware that you can't physically see. Now, right now, if I save one of the documents on my laptop, that's not a cloud because it's local to my laptop right now. But if I upload that document onto this Google Drive that I'm showing you right now, so this is being saved in one of the Google data centers, most probably in United States. So this is cloud. So cloud is now becoming a part of our daily lives, where we can see many of the applications, services, or the storage options that you will get nowadays. They are most probably the cloud-based. So cloud computing has touched not only the professional or the organizations, but even the personal lives. Right now, if you're using the Facebook, you're uploading your pictures on the Facebook, so they are getting uploaded into the Facebook data center in some hardware. Okay, so all these things are now being cloud-based. Now let's discuss the deployment models of the cloud computing. First one is called the private cloud. A private cloud is a cloud platform that is dedicated for the specific organization. Right? Private cloud means that that piece of infrastructure is being managed and owned by you. It can be a piece of a data center, a part of a data center, the entire data center, or a part of a cloud. So it means that that infrastructure is being owned by you. For example, let me just take a pen and try to explain it. For example, this is your office. This is your office, and from your office you access. So this is your office. This is your head office or the branch office from where you employ sit, and this is your data center, where you have the entire service running. So in the short form, I'm just writing a DC or data center. You might have a link in between, or a WAN link, or a dedicated link. So this is your private cloud, which means that all these this entire data center, might be it's a data center, or might be you have taken the rack space, a part of the entire physical part is being owned by you. No other individual or organization would be allowed to run his or her application services in the same data center, or the part of the data center that you are being managed by you, that you manage. For example, let's suppose if you don't go with the data center, we have a concept called VPC, or the virtual private cloud. So let's suppose that, for example, if this is your corporate office, this is your office, you can have something called VPC, or the virtual private cloud, that you host on the AWS cloud, and you can have a link in between. So this is your office, and this is your VPC on the top. VPC stands for virtual private cloud, which means that the entire virtual private cloud is being owned by you. No other individual or organization is authorized to run his or her resources in the same cloud. So private means it's your private, you own that, you manage that, it's your property. Okay? So private cloud means it is dedicated for the specific organization or the individual. Next, we have something called public cloud. It is available to public users to use the cloud infrastructure. For example, Amazon Web Services is a public cloud. Why? Because different individuals and organizations can run their application services on the same cloud. I'm using a Google Drive. It's a public cloud. Why? Because it's not only me who's using the Google Drive service. Millions of users are using the Google Drive to upload or share the contents. So this is a part of a public cloud. So even the Amazon Web Services that we are using right now, it's a public cloud, where different individuals and organizations, they can come, host their application and services. Hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is a private cloud that can be extended to use resources in the public cloud. It's a cocktail of your public and the private cloud. For example, let's take an example. Let's suppose that this is your office, where your employees sit, where you sit, and from your office, so this is your office, you have your own data center. So this is your DC, your data center, and you have a link between your office and the data center. So this is your private cloud, because you own this entire or a part of this data center in which your hardware is running. Upon the hardware, you have the application and services running. Right. Now, also, today you decide, okay, I can also go with the AWS cloud. Now, what is an AWS cloud? It's a public cloud. because you can run some of the public resources. So now what you can do is you have the private cloud, you have the AWS public cloud, you can adjoin your data center and your office in such a way that these three disparate locations are being connected to each other. This is called the hybrid cloud, which means you're using the public and the private resources at the same time. You can have your data center where you have your own hardware running. Apart from that, you can also use the AWS public cloud to launch or run some of your resources. So you're using your private and the public clouds both at the same time. You're taking the benefit of both at the same time. This comes under the category of the hybrid cloud. Right? Community cloud. Now it supports a community of several organizations having shared concerns where the cloud can be either public or private. A community cloud, for me, it's kind of a bit confusing because there are many terms related to, or many definitions for it. But the best definition of the community cloud, I can say, is that different individuals and organizations, they come together where they share their public or private resources to accomplish a common cause or to solve a common problem. For example, let's suppose today Microsoft, Apple, and few other big companies, they come together so that they can work for the child education in the world, or to promote the vaccinations, free vaccinations in India or in some of the poor countries. So they come together. Now to promote the awareness, they have to launch some of the websites, they have to launch some of the applications to promote the awareness about that so that they can raise the funds. In that case, they can use their resources to accomplish that goal. So community cloud means that different individuals and organizations, they come together and they have the shared concerns, so they share the resources to accomplish a common goal. That comes under the category of community cloud. So these are the 4 different deployment models that you will encounter or you will see in your day-to-day lives. So most probably you will see the private cloud, public cloud, and the hybrid cloud. Mahesh is saying Tesla is a live example where it shares the data and design for clear environment for auto industry. You can see that. Tesla is a very big company. Now they work in the petrol-free or the diesel-free cars. It's a very big organization, so they share their data and design for clear environment for auto industry. Yeah. So you can see that comes under the community cloud. GM, General Motors, and Toyota all merged for this one. That's a good thing because different car companies now they're going into the direction where we have a very environment-friendly cars. So that's a good thing that Tesla has taken this kind of initiative and merged with Toyota and General Motors to promote that. I'm not sure whether it's a rumor or not, but Apple would be also launching their cars like Tesla by 2020. I'm not sure, but it's a rumor. But by 2020, we'll also have the petrol-free or diesel-free cars like Tesla is produced by Apple. All right. So these are the 4 deployment models: private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and the community cloud. Any questions, any doubts before we can just proceed? In the meantime, just give me a few seconds over here. If you have any questions, you can just pop up your questions. Just give me a second over here. Guys, just give me a second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Let's move further. Now let's discuss the anatomy of the cloud stack. If I'm saying anatomy of the cloud stack, it means these are the different layers of the cloud computing. So let's discuss that. So I'll start with the application layer. That stands for software as a service, and software environment layer, platform as a service, infrastructure, virtualization, and at the end, physical layer. Let's discuss the application layer. So what do you mean by the application layer? Application layer provides software as a service. Software as a service means that these application softwares have been deployed on the cloud platform, which are ready to be used by the end users. Right? For example, nowadays you use so many applications that you download from the Play Store or App Store. So nowadays most of these applications are cloud-based. You download these applications, you perform the sign-up procedure, or you pay for them, and those softwares are being ready to be used. So this application layer or a software as a service layer targets the end users who access the software services or applications provided by this layer through the internet. For example, you have Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets, right? So these are cloud-based applications or feature or services, and they're ready to be used by the end users. Software environment layer of platform as a service, PaaS, platform as a service. Now this provides platform as a service, and it accelerates the development, deployment, and management of cloud applications without installing the programming tools and platforms on developers' local machines. Right. So over here, it gives the developers to they get the environment where they can develop, deploy, and test their applications upon the cloud platform. For example, we have Elastic Beanstalk, OpsWork in the Amazon Web Services. In the Google, we have the Google App Engine. So these are the examples. So this gives the platforms to the developers to develop, deploy, and manage their cloud applications without installing them, without installing the tools on the local machines. So in the Amazon Web Services, we'll discuss the Elastic Beanstalk. Next, we have something called infrastructure layer. Now, in this architect course, we'll focus more on the infrastructure layer. Infrastructure layer are divided in three parts: computational, storage, and networking. If you talk about the computational resources, it offers infrastructure as a service. They stand for IaaS, and they're provided to cloud users in the form of virtual machines. For example, in the Amazon, we have EC2. EC2, we'll discuss that, but EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. I repeat, Elastic Compute Cloud. So it's a kind of a virtual machine running on the edge of this cloud. And in the Microsoft, we have Azure. Okay, so your cloud provider shares the computational resources in the form of virtual machines. Upon these virtual machines, you run your applications and services. Next, we have storage resources that offers a data storage as a service, DAAS. For example, we have Amazon S3. S3 stands for Simple Storage Services. It is the oldest and one of the most popular service that's been provided by the Amazon. And I'm not sure how many guys you have used the Dropbox. I've heard about it. In Dropbox, it uses the S3 at the back end. Okay. Next, we have the networking resources. It presents the concept of network as a service, for example, Internet Gateway. So as an architect, you will use the networking resources to create or deploy your entire infrastructure. So if it is, let's show you the AWS Management Console. These are the networking resources. Now these are very vast, not very easy to digest. So we'll accomplish all these networking resources: virtual private cloud, direct connect, and Route 53. And these are this compute are the compute resources. All these, we'll discuss that. And these are all the storage resources: S3, file system, Glacier, Snowball, storage gateway. Elastic Beanstalk, platform as a service. Okay. Virtualization layer. A virtualization layer represents the basic software for managing the physical hardware resources in the physical layer and the virtualized resources in the infrastructure layer. Right. See, what happens in the infrastructure domain is that the things have changed now. Even before the virtualization came into the picture, the virtualization was introduced by VMware. What used to happen before is that you have a single box, an HP or IBM box. So, for example, today if you want to deploy a server or an application, you will just go ahead and you would just buy an HP or IBM box. For example, it's an HP or IBM or Dell, whatever. So that there are different companies that produce servers, or Cisco. So over here, what used to happen before is that you had to buy the entire server to host only one platform, right? So for example, on this HP or IBM, just give me a second over here. I'm sorry. So let's suppose you can only deploy a Windows Server 2008. That's it. And upon this Windows Server 2008, you can deploy only one application service. So you have to buy, you have to pay thousands of dollars for a physical server, and you can just launch only one platform and one application service. Now the things changed when the virtualization came into the picture many years ago, where upon this physical machine, you can have different virtual machines running. Now I can just go to the market, I can buy a physical server. Let's suppose it's the HP or IBM box, and I can have different virtual machines running the different guest operating system. For example, this is my Windows 2008. This is my Windows 2012. This is my Red Hat Linux. Right? And upon each and every machine, I can have the application services running. So now this saves my cost. This saves my data center space. Guys, just give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so what I was explaining is that Now you can have a single physical server upon which you can have different virtual machines. And these virtual machines, upon these virtual machines, you can have different guest operating systems running. But this is the work that doesn't work indirectly. Between your virtual machines, these virtual machines, and the server, you have something called hypervisor. What is a hypervisor? A hypervisor is a layer between your physical server and the virtual machines that facilitates the launching of the virtual machine. So a hypervisor carves out the physical resources for the hardware and distribute it to your virtual machines. It's a kind of a layer in between, right? So if you see the definition over here, it says a VMM or the hypervisor facilitates the creation and the management of VMs, each with separate operating system and applications. Okay. For example, I'll show you the setup that I've downloaded on my MacBook. So a hypervisor or the virtualization layer manages the backend operation of these VMs by allocating the necessary resources such as CPU, memory, and storage. For example, we have the Xen hypervisor that we use in the Amazon Web Services. In the VMware, we have ESX or ESXi. I'm not sure how many guys who have worked on the VMware. It's a quite efficient platform to perform the virtualization. Xen is used in the Amazon Web Services. Now we, as the architects, we don't have access to the hypervisor. Okay. But let me show you how the hypervisor looks like. So I have downloaded, I have a kind of a virtual physical host. So this is my VMware ESXi. If you see on the right side, on the left side, so I have some virtual machines running on the VMware ESXi. So this is a kind of a virtual host a virtual server that I've deployed, and this is my ESXi. And so now the virtualization is quite easy. It is not just restricted to your physical server, so you can also do this entire virtualization on your local PCs or other desktops. So this is my VMware ESXi. And upon this VMware ESXi, I have downloaded one virtual machine. That's my storage gateway in the Amazon Web Services. Let me show you that. So this is my another virtual machine running on this Windows one. Okay, so let me just log into my vCenter. So from here, I'm just where is that? Just give me 1 second, please. Something looks like it's in frozen state. Task Manager. Okay, so let me show you that I'm running some of the virtual machines. So we'll discuss all these kind of things once we do the storage gateway, because we have to use the VMware concepts to deploy a storage gateway. So this is running my storage gateway on the ESXi. If you see on the left side, this is my storage gateway. Storage gateway is used to merge your in-house storage of your data center with the Amazon Web Services storage options. Okay, so if you want to merge your in-house storage with the Amazon Web Services cloud, then you will use the storage gateway. It's a very lengthy procedure, so we'll discuss that once we cover the storage gateway. So storage gateway can be located over here, this one. So I've deployed as a virtual machine on my virtual data center. Okay, so I'll discuss all those kind of things. So what I'm trying to explain is that you have to have a hypervisor in between to create a virtualization layer. Otherwise, it will not be possible. Okay. Last but not the least, we have a thing called physical layer or a hardware as a service. Now, it is the backbone of the cloud, including physical hardware resources and switches. See, at the back end, if I'm saying that you are leveraging a cloud resource, in actuality, you're using a physical resource of the hardware of your cloud provider, whether it's routers, switches, firewalls, and all those kind of things. So a cloud provider acts as a hardware as a service provider where he operates, manages, upgrades the hardware on behalf of its consumers for the duration of the sublease. Okay. So the cloud provider acts here as a hardware as a service provider. All right. So that's about the anatomy of the cloud stack. Any questions, any doubts? Just a basic overview of the cloud computing. So we have discussed our application layer, software as a service layer, which means that we have the softwares that are being deployed on the cloud platform, and it's ready to be used. We have the software environment layer, platform as a service, which means that it gives the platform for the developers to develop and deploy their applications. Infrastructure layer, that is being covered in 3 different categories: computational, storage, and networking. In the virtualization layer, we have discussed that this virtualization layer facilitates the creation of VMs on a single physical hardware resource. So this points toward the hypervisor. Last, we have the physical layer, which means that our cloud service provider acts as a hardware as a service provider, because at the end, we're using the hardware components or the hardware resources lying in his data center. So this is the anatomy of the cloud stack. These are the different layers of the cloud computing. Okay. Any questions, any doubts? Because I'm planning this, we can just take a break to have the dinner, or we can just refresh ourselves. Any questions, any doubts? Today's session would be just an overview. I'll not deep dive into the technical sessions, because we'll start discussing from tomorrow. So today we'll discuss some basics of the Amazon Web Services, the history, and I'll discuss some overview of the EC2 and all those kind of things. In the infrastructure, it's quite important, so I'll discuss the infrastructure part as well. Any questions, any doubts, please feel free to let me know. No questions? Okay. All right. So we can do one thing. Let's take a break for 15 minutes. 1-5. You can have your dinner, or you can just refresh yourself. After 15 minutes, we'll just come back and we'll just continue with our conversation. So we will discuss some brief history and the overview of the Amazon Web Services. Then I'll just make you familiar with the AWS global infrastructure. Okay. So let's take a break of 15 minutes, and please be back so that we can continue with our conversation. All right. Thank you. Welcome back. I guess I'll be right back now. All right, so let's start. I'll just briefly introduce about the Amazon Web Services, their past history, what kind of infrastructure they have, what's their hold in the market. So in this slide, it's giving the cloud computing basics as the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process the data rather than a local server or a personal computer. Okay. The cloud has been adopted by nearly 90% of the businesses. By 2015, it was a $40 billion industry. And in the next 9 years, it is expected that this industry will grow up to 241 billion. So we can see that this cloud computing industry, it has a huge scope for the people who would be coming into this domain, whether it's architects, professionals, management guys, and all those kind of things. So there's a tremendous opportunity for the people who will be jumping into this domain. Okay. And it's a boon for various kinds, especially the developers, because now, as the cloud computing is merging, or I would say it is emerging platform, there's a tremendous opportunity for the developers as well. Now, regarding the Amazon Web Services, Amazon Web Services is a cloud computing platform that is offered by Amazon Avast system of pay-as-you-go data centers that provide the infrastructure of much of the World Wide Web. And the Amazon Web Services was officially launched in year 2006. So it completed its 10 years, a decade, almost 2 months ago. So they have already completed 10 years in this domain, and they're going great. They are working quite efficiently, and they have more than 1 million customers worldwide. Now, there's a very interesting story about the Amazon Web Services, that how they came into this industry. Amazon Web Services, it's a subsidiary company of Amazon.com. That's an e-commerce giant that's competing Flipkart, eBay, Alibaba. So there's so many e-commerce platforms. Amazon.com is a leading, I would say, even in the United States. Over here in India, we have Flipkart, but globally, Amazon.com is being accepted as a preferred e-commerce platform. So the Amazon Web Services it's a subsidiary company of that one. Now, if I say that Microsoft, Google, they are into the cloud computing business, it makes sense, because from the day one, Microsoft, Google, they are into the IT and software domain. How come an e-commerce platform that is in the business of selling the products online, they are starting giving their data centers for the cloud platforms? It's a very interesting story. Amazon.com, it was officially launched in year 1999 or 1998 by Jeff Bezos, and they were in competition with eBay. Within 1 or 2 years, Amazon.com it picked up the pace, and they were getting good response from the customers. Now, if you open Amazon.com, you will see the website opens very fastly. So it's Amazon.in in India. So if it is typed in Amazon.in, you will see that it will just open at a very tremendous pace, right? Because this is the USP or the unique selling point of any of the e-commerce platform, because so that these all the contents and all these things they load up very fastly. That's a USP or the unique selling point. Because if the web page is loading up slowly, it is quite obvious that you will not go to the website. You will just go with the Flipkart or eBay. So Amazon.com to give the best customer experience to all the customers worldwide, they set up their data centers across the globe. Right? Now, in the year 2005, NASA, it's into the aeronautical and space programs. NASA was on a mission to launch a robot on the Mars platform, on the Mars planet, so that they can get to know whether the Mars contains the water or whether the life can survive on the Mars or not. That was a big event because the NASA was launching the robotic mission for the first time. They wanted to stream that video live from the Mars to the Earth and distribute it across the globe. Now, it was a huge challenge because to accomplish that, you have to have a good amount of data centers across the globe. Now, NASA is not into the data center technology. So NASA approached the Amazon.com and said, oh, hey, we know that you have the data centers across the globe. Could you please live stream this video from the Mars to the Earth and distribute it across the globe? Amazon.com took that challenge. I think they worked for free, and that went very well. So from there, the Amazon.com, they thought about it that, okay, if we can serve NASA, because we have a chain of data centers across the globe, why can't we offer this kind of service to different clients across the globe and get paid? And from there, in the year 2006, the Amazon Web Services was launched. So it's a kind of, I can say, an accidental startup, or by chance they started this company. And right now, I would say that, don't go by my words, but if you just search the internet, Amazon Web Services is the leader in the cloud computing platform, competing with Microsoft and Google. Even though it's not a technology company, but still that they are leader in this domain. If I talk about the market share of the Amazon Web Services, especially in the infrastructure as a service domain, Amazon Web Services holds 27% of the market share, followed by Microsoft 10% and IBM 7%, and the rest of the market is being captured by Salesforce, DigitalOcean, and many more companies that are working as cloud vendors. Amazon Web Services claims that they have more than 1 million customers worldwide, including more than 600 government agencies worldwide. Now this is the unique selling point, because even the U.S. government, their defense and research programs, all of them are being hosted on the Amazon Web Services platform. It's called the AWS GovCloud, US GovCloud. So this is a kind of a proud thing for the Amazon Web Services, that even the government agencies, they use the Amazon platform, because on the U.S. government, they have so much confidential data to put in. So Amazon Web Services is a very reliable platform. Now, several large companies and organizations run web applications on AWS, including Reddit, Netflix, NASA, Expedia, Accenture, Adobe. So there's a countless number of different companies who have been using Amazon Web Services for quite a while now. In India, many media channel companies like NDTV, Punjab Kesari, India Today, they're using the AWS platform. So I guess in India only they have thousands of customers. Nowadays, you might be seeing, especially from the people in Bangalore, that each day a new company or a new app is launched. Now you have Ola, you have Uber. Uber is a US-based company. You have Food Panda, Zomato. So now it's very easy for the startups to deploy their applications on the cloud. They don't have to spend millions of dollars to have their data centers first. So the cloud computing is a boon for the startups in the cities like Bangalore, where the people with big and bright ideas can implement their ideas and they don't have to spend too much on the IT infrastructure. Now, the AWS platform powers hundreds of thousands of businesses in 190 countries with data centers in 11 regions across the world. Now, there's a correction. Instead of 11 regions, there are 12 regions. Regions are the geographical locations where the Amazon Web Services, they have their presence. And so they have a cluster, a chain of data centers across the globe. And each data center has a capacity to hold between 50 to 80,000 computer servers. That's how large their data centers are. Regarding sales and revenue, the AWS generates almost $6 billion per year. That's a huge amount. And with 1.5 billion in revenue in Q1 of 2015 alone. I don't have the stats of 2016 or late in 2015. And the Amazon Web Services is committed to go green. It means that their data centers are now being solar powered. Because I'm not sure how many guys you have seen the data centers, but data centers are power hungry. They consume the thousands of watts of electricity on daily or weekly basis. And they emit a lot of pollution because for that electricity, you need so many resources that are being consumed, and you have the diesel generators and so on. So the Amazon Web Services, now they're committed to make their data centers solar powered. So I guess more than 50% of their data centers are running on the solar energy. Down the line, they will involve more data centers to run on the solar energy. Okay, so they are committed to keep their data centers carbon free. Okay, so that's about the basics, or I would say a brief history of the Amazon Web Services. Any questions, any doubts you have, you can just let me know. No questions? All right. I guess we can move further. Any questions, you can just let me know in between. All right, so now I'll just make you familiar with the global infrastructure, because it is very important for us to know that what's the infrastructure that's being managed and owned by the Amazon Web Services. So AWS Global Infrastructure. Now this is how the map looks like, and I've taken this from the AWS documentation, and this is how their infrastructure is being scattered across the globe. Right. Now the one which you see with the orange circles, these are where the Amazon Web Services, they have the footprint, which means they have the cluster of data centers where you can see the orange dots or the orange circles. Now, if you see the numbers in these circles, 32, 32, 5, 32, these are the number of data centers in that part of the world or the globe. Okay. For example, if you just see over here in Oregon, over here, they have 3 data centers. In North California, they have 3 data centers. In North Virginia, they have 5. In Sydney, they have 3. So they are scattered across the globe, and the circles that you can see with the white circles with the green background, green boundaries, I would say that these are the upcoming regions or the upcoming cluster of data centers. Now we'll expect a region to be set up in India very soon. So they are working with the Tata Communication Limited and Reliance to set up the cluster of data centers in Chennai and Mumbai. So I guess within 2 or 3 months we'll have in India as well, because they're seeing that they are getting good response from Indian customers. So we'll have a region in India soon. Now the AWS global infrastructure is being categorized in 3 different categories: regions, availability zones, and the edge locations. These are the 3 different categories upon which the Amazon Web Services, they have built their entire infrastructure. Okay. Now, I'll start with the region first. What is a region? A region is nothing but it's a geographical location. If I'm saying region, it's equal to a geographical location, or GL. A region is equal to a geographical location or a part of world where the Amazon Web Services, they have the footprint of the cluster of data centers. If I'm saying region, it's a geographical location. Let me show you how it looks like. If I just go back to the AWS Maven console, let me just now on this AWS Maven console, at the top right corner, you can see these are the 10 different regions for me to access. In the US continent, I have in US East North Virginia, on the East Coast, North Virginia. On the West Coast, I have North California. Another one in the West Coast, Oregon. So these are the 3 distinct regions in the United States. One is also there, it's missing, I'll show you why. In Europe, I have one region in Ireland, second one in Frankfurt. In Asia Pacific, I have in Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, and Sydney. So very soon we'll have it in India as well, in India. And in South America, we have in Sao Paulo. So these are the 10 different, so this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the 10 different regions for me to launch my resources into. These 10 different regions are the geographical locations contain the cluster of data centers. Okay. Now, if you want to see the in-depth overview of the entire global infrastructure, there's a website I'll let you know. Just go to Google and just type in AWS Global Infrastructure. So the first link that you will get, you can see the list of entire regions, AZs, and edge locations from here. I'm just copying and pasting this link for your reference. Okay, so I'm just copying and pasting the link. Over here, now this is the map that I just took and pasted in the PPT slide. Now over here, you can see the list of regions, AZs, data centers, and everything. Okay. On the AWS Maven console, these are the 10 different distinct geographical locations or the regions for you to access. But in actuality, there are 12, which means 2 are missing. The 2 that are missing, they are not intended to be used by the general public or the organizations. Which regions are they? The first region that is missing in the list over here is this AWS GovCloud US region. This is purely used by the US government, federal agencies, defense programs, and research programs. It is never to be used by the normal organizations or individuals who are not associated with the US government. So it's strictly confidential. Therefore, it is not showing up in the list. AWS GovCloud US region. So I was claiming that the government agencies, they also use the AWS for their research and defense programs. So AWS GovCloud is the best example. Okay. The second region or the geographical location that is missing over here is this China Beijing region. Now, I guess we are aware that the China, they have restricted their access, and they don't make their resources public. For example, Google, Facebook, they're banned in China. So China Beijing region, it is purely intended to be used by the Chinese government and individuals. If you're not a citizen of China, in that case, you'll not be able to see that that China Beijing region in the list over here. So if any of our clients is a Chinese client, then you can see the China Beijing region in the list. Otherwise, it will not show up. So you have 10 different regions to access to our MISANC. The first one is the China Beijing region, and the second one is the US GovCloud region. Okay, so these are the distinct regions. Is the concept of region clear? Any questions, any doubts before I can just proceed further? So if I'm saying region, you can note it down. A region is equal to geographical location. And guys, I have a humble request for you that even if it's an online session and you get a recorded video, please have a practice to keep a notepad and pen with you, because I'm seeing that the people are now somewhere getting far away from the practice that we have been incorporating from the school times. So any kind of important concept or points I tell you, please jot it down on notepad so that in the free time you can just go through the pages and revise the concepts. See, it sounds very simple and silly, but it's very effective. These things we have been following from the school times. So I have seen the people now, they don't take the pen and write on the notepads. So please, because during the conversation, I will emphasize on various different concepts and the questions that will come up in the examination. So if you just skip that over here, you not go to through a 3-hour recording. And I don't think that anyone will have a patience to go through the 3-hour recording. So the best thing is that have the notepad, have the pen, anything that I'm stressing upon, please jot it down for your reference. So if I'm saying a region is equal to a geographical location where the Amazon Web Services has a footprint and they have their own cluster of data centers. This is the concept of region. Any questions, any doubts, let me know. I'm just pausing it for a while. I guess we have a question over here. Okay. No questions. Clear till now. Okay, that's fine. Okay, someone has raised a hand. Okay, Mazhar. Mazhar, I'm just putting you off the mute. Yes, Mazhar, what's your question?
Hello, sir. You tell the regions are coming in India and in also at Bombay and Bangalore also. The regions are coming.
The regions will be coming. I'm not sure about it because I'm not an AWS employee. But what I've heard is that they will have region in Chennai and Mumbai, okay, which means they will have a region in India, and they will have the data centers in Chennai and Mumbai.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they will have a region in India, but the data centers will be in Chennai and Mumbai.
Yes. One question is also, I write all the points that you will tell at notebook.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Because there is where the certifications is coming.
Certification.
AWS.
You're talking about the certification questions.
Yes. Which
Uh,
type of questions are coming in AWS certifications?
See, the thing is that during the conversation, I'll stress upon some points. You have to make a note of it. And at the
Yes.
end of the course, we'll discuss some certification questions as well.
Yes.
I'll do that. Once we are done with the concepts, once we're done with the practical sessions, then we'll discuss the questions and answers that come up in the examination. I'll do that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's move further. Now the next piece of the global infrastructure is called the AZs, or availability zones. Now if I'm saying availability zone, in the short form I'll just refer it as AZs because sometimes I have my tongue slips by saying availability zones. So in the short form we also call it as AZs, or availability zones. What is an AZ? If I'm referring to one AZ, it is equal to one data center. One AZ is equal to one DC, which means one availability zone is equal to one data center. So we have the cluster of data centers in a region. Let me show you that. For example, I just go ahead and choose my North California region. So it's already been chosen. I go to EC2 and compute, and before I launch my instance into this North California region, I'll see how many AZs there are. So if I scroll down, now let me explain you this thing. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. So over here, this thing, US West North California, is my entire region. What is a region? A region is equal to a GL, a geographical location. And these are the two distinct data centers, or AZs, or availability zone within this region. So US West 1B is one data center, or one AZ, or one availability zone. US West 1C is my one AZ, one availability zone, or one data center. These cluster of two data centers are located in this region of Northern California. Let's take another example. Let's suppose I go to North Virginia. Now, in the North Virginia, if I just scroll down, over here, this is my North Virginia as a region. And these are the four distinct data centers, or AZs, or availability zones. These are my AZs, four different AZs, which means four data centers that are located in the region of North Virginia. Right? So you can say a region is a region is equal to a cluster of data centers called AZs, or availability zones. See, if I just create a diagram to make it more understandable, let's suppose if this circle is my region. This circle is my region. Let's suppose, to make it more understandable, to make it simple. These are different AZs. This is my AZ1. This is my AZ2. And this is my AZ3. Now within this region, all these AZs or distinct data centers are being linked together or binded together with high-speed fiber optic connections. So this cluster of data centers comprises and become my region. Okay, so this can be my US West 1A, this can be my US West 1D. So a collaboration or the accumulation of the data centers binded together with high-speed fiber optic connections become my region. Okay. Now I'll just go with the naming convention. How this how we name these AZs. I'll just go back to the North Virginia. North California. Now over here, see, the thing is that the Amazon Web Services, they represent their infrastructure in a different way. The North California region would be always being represented as US West 1. If I say US West 1, that is my one region of Northern California. Right. If I append A, B, so there is the same thing, US West 1A, 1C, they become my AZs. Over here, if you see, US West 1, B is my one data center, US West 1, C is my another data center or another AZ. So US West 1 is my region. If I append B and C, they become my availability zone. Now you might be wondering, where the hell is A? I can't see A over here. See, in actuality we have one A, but it's being maxed out. It has no more capacity to accommodate the resources. Therefore, it is not showing up in the list. All right. Let's take another example. We go to, let's suppose, okay. Let's pick up Oregon in the US West. All right. Now, once we scroll down, now the Oregon is always represented as, let me just grab the pen. It is always represented as my US, hang on one second, US West 2. This is how it is represented as. If I append A, B, C, they become my different data center or AZ. So US West 2, A is my another first AZ, US West 2, B is my second AZ, US West 2, C is my third AZ. So these are the three different AZs that are located in my region called US West 2 that points towards my Oregon. Let's take another example. Let's pick any of the regions in Asia Pacific. Let's pick up Singapore. Now Singapore is nearest to India. It is nearest to India. So for the Indian clients, you will prefer the Singapore as a region. Unless if you get one region in India. So till that point of time, all the resources will be migrated to the Singapore location. For the Indian clients, I'm saying that. Now, if I scroll down, over here, this Asia Pacific Singapore is being represented as AP Southeast 1. If I append A, it becomes my one AZ. AP Southeast 1, B become my second AZ. So AP Southeast 1 is my Singapore region. So this is how it is represented. In a nutshell, to emphasize again, you can just make a note of it. If I'm saying one region is equal to one geographical location or one GL. If I'm saying one AZ one AZ is equal to one DC or one data center, right? To make it more simple and understandable. To go deeper, you have a cluster of data centers or AZs within the region. What is a region? A region means it's where the Amazon Web Services has a global footprint, where these cluster of data centers are being located. Okay. So let's discuss. I'll discuss the edge locations later on. This one, I'll discuss this later on. So let's move further. So the AWS Cloud operates 33 AZs or availability zones within 12 geographical regions around the world, with 11 more AZs and 5 more regions coming online throughout the next year. So till now they have 12 different regions and 33 AZs, so they will come up with more infrastructure in the coming year. The AWS Cloud infrastructure is built around regions and availability zones called AZs. What is a region? A region is a physical location in the world where the AWS, they have multiple availability zones. What are the availability zones? It consists of one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking and connectivity, housed in separate facilities. Now these AZs are connected to each other with fast private fiber optic networking, enabling you to easily architect applications that automatically fail over between AZs without interruption. So all these AZs or data centers are connected with high-speed fiber optic connections, so that there's a synchronization of the resources or replication of resources. Okay, so that's all about the regions and AZs. Any questions, any doubts? Sandeep's question is, so one availability zone can have more than one DC? No, Sandeep. One AZ is one DC. I know why you're getting confused, because of this this definition. So it's saying availability zones means it is connected. So let me emphasize this. It consists of one or more discrete, it consists one or more discrete data centers. So note of it, discrete data centers with redundant power, networking and connectivity, housed in separate facility. So I quote this, housed in separate facilities. So an availability zone means one data center. Simple. Okay. Even I was confused when I saw this definition, but I go into the depth, check more documentation. So one AZ is equal to one data center. Okay. Any questions, any doubts more? Please feel free to let me know. And guys, please don't be reluctant to speak out or ask questions, because I've seen some people think, oh no, this might be a silly question, I will not ask that. No question is silly, right? Even if you have even the tiniest doubt on the earth, please feel free to ask me. If not, I'm not able to answer it, I'll promise that no, I just check into my resources and get back to you. There's so many people over here who have a good experience. They can answer your question. So please don't be reluctant or hesitant to answer the questions. Again, I'm saying you are spending your precious time, your money, effort over here. So please make the best out of it. Now see, what are the benefits we're getting? Because we have seen so much things, AZs, regions, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, what we're looking for are the benefits. So what are the benefits we're getting out of it? The first benefit that we get is we get the high availability through multiple AZs or availability zones. Right. See, let me just go back to the AWS Management Console and just make it understandable. Let's suppose that today you decide that I'll just go with Singapore as my preferred region because your client is in India, and you think that, okay, let's pick Singapore as my preferred region. Now, these are the two distinct AZs. Let's suppose this one fails. This AP South, now you can see the tick marks over here, which means they're healthy. But what if this AP Southeast fails? It goes down. You can, in that case, if this fails, you can quickly replicate your services to another AZ. So if this fails, you can quickly copy over your resources to another AZ. So you get the flexibility to make your design more highly available and fault tolerant without any downtime. So this is the benefit you get. This is the first benefit you get. There are 3 more benefits that we'll discuss right now. The other benefit that you get is, hang on one second. That you get the improved continuity with replication between regions. So it is not that only between the AZs you can play around, you can also play around between the regions. You can scatter. So for example, let's suppose I have a company in United States, and so I can have few resources in North Virginia, some of the resources in North California, some of the resources in Oregon, and I can replicate or load balance my traffic across them. Okay, so this is the thing I can achieve. Now this is quite important. It helps you to meet compliance and data residency requirements. See, in some of the organizations, especially the financial institutions like American International Group in the United States, American Express, Citibank, ICICI Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland. So there are so many financial institutions that I can name right now. They are pretty much cautious about their customer confidential data, right? Now, due to some compliance, data residency requirements, or some pressure from the government, they are bound to keep the data local into the country where the headquarters reside. For example, today the American International Group, they decided to launch their resources on the Amazon Web Services platform or American Express. So as per the law, they have to keep the customer data into United States. They can't migrate their database into India or Sydney or Singapore. No, it's not possible. So due to some data residency requirements, they're bound to keep the data local into the country where their office headquarters are. So since the Amazon Web Services, they are scattering at a very faster pace, so it becomes easier for the company to meet the compliance and data residency requirements. Geographical expansion. Now, you have the 10 different geographical regions to leverage. Now, if you are a big company, and today if you want to open up the data centers across these 10 different locations, it means you need millions of dollars in your pocket. But now if you just go with Amazon Web Services, that's not the case. You just sign on with few simple clicks, you are the king. So it saves you time, money, effort to spin up your entire infrastructure across the globe. So these are the 4 different benefits that we get out of this global infrastructure. Now let's take the questions right now. Sandeep's question is, switchover between the data centers happen automatically, or we need to configure or develop? Sandeep, it can happen automatically. We use the concept of load balancer, auto scaling, or Route 53, so this will happen automatically. You can do it manually if you want, but you can also automate this procedure of failover. Okay. Any questions, any doubts, guys? Srinivas has a question. What happens when all AZs in a region go down? Srinivas, if the entire region goes down, if all the AZs go down, it means the region is down. In that case, you can replicate the resources in a different region, right? So, for example, let's suppose now United States it's a big country, and you have tornadoes and the different kind of calamities that occur. So you can have some resources in North Virginia, in California, in Oregon. So if any one of the regions goes down, you can replicate your resources in a different region. That you can do. Okay. Rakesh Kumar has a question. Does the storing data to nearest AZ is faster than one from the own location? Rakesh, it all depends upon how it is set up. Okay. See, nearest AZ, it is quite obvious that if you are keeping the data to your nearest AZ from your place, it is much faster. There is no doubt for that. But due to some data residency or compliance requirements, you may need to migrate the data somewhere far into a distant AZ. There can be a milliseconds of latency, so you have to perform all the calculations. So, logically speaking, you will always prefer to keep the data to the nearest AZ. But if you don't have any option, what you can do? Okay. For example, we don't have any region in India. Today, if an Indian client comes up and say, "Hey, could you please launch my resource on Amazon Web Services in India," I would say, "Hey, sir, I don't have any region in India, so I don't have any option to go for the Singapore," and it works quite well. So it depends upon the scenarios, your application requirement, and so on. Sandeep's question is, can you explain the power supply in data center, how it is done in AWS? Sandeep, first thing first, the Amazon Web Services, or if you pick any of the cloud computing provider, they will never give you the insight of their data centers. Never, ever. Why? For the security reasons. Today, if you contact the Amazon Web Services and ask them the address of their data centers, they will not be able to provide you. Because the data centers are located in a very secretive places. Secretive places means that the companies never reveal on the website or any of the documentation or press releases the exact location of the data centers for these security reasons. So the Amazon Web Services never gives the insight what's working in their data centers. And it's not with the Amazon Web Services. You pick any one of the big giant, Facebook, they have the data centers, Google, they never reveal what's running inside the data center, how they're managing it, or what's the two things running on the power supply. They never reveal that. See, regarding the power supply, what I've heard is, or what they claim is that now their data centers are solar powered. I'm pretty much sure not the entire data center can run on the solar power. So partly it can be solar power, partly it can be electricity, and for the backups they might have the diesel generators just in case if the electricity goes down. Shrikant's question is, what are the replication services again has to be paid separately? Shrikant, see, the thing is, replication doesn't come with high cost, but it all depends upon you. See, the thing is, in this world, nothing comes for free. If you are replicating the resources, it is quite obvious that you have to shed out some little bit of money. But at the end, what you're getting, customer satisfaction. And one thing you have to keep in mind, if you have to do this replication by setting up your own data centers, you have to shed out millions of dollars, right? But now you're just shedding this hundreds of thousands just for the temporary application. I'm not saying thousands, but just few hundreds. So if you compare few $100s with the millions of dollars, so I don't think that it's a big deal that if you have to pay for the replication to enhance the customer satisfaction. And this replication is not, I would say, mandatory. If you don't want the application to be highly available, you can just go with one or one easy. Okay. So replication is not a mandatory thing. It's a privilege that you can. Today, if I say that okay, I've launched my instance in Northern California, I'll stick to that. Okay. Guys, just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so we are just left with a third component, that is the edge locations. This one. So we'll discuss the regions and AZs. What is the edge location? See, first thing first, edge locations are the AWS partnered data centers. These data centers called edge locations are not, I repeat, edge locations are the data centers that are not owned by Amazon Web Services. They have collaborated with different vendors across the globe to use their data centers. In India, they have partnered with Reliance and Tata Communication Limited to use their data centers as edge locations. Now, let me show you the. So if we just go to the site, AWS Global Infrastructure, and if you just go to the AWS edge locations, just click on See Detailed List of Offerings. You go over here. And these are the edge locations. So in India, we have the edge location in Chennai and in Mumbai. So they have partnered with Reliance and Tata Communication. Now, through the edge locations, they provide 3 different services. One is CloudFront, that is for the content delivery. Route 53, that is the DNS service, the domain name service, and the AWS WAF, Web Application Firewall. These are the 3 different services that are being offered through the edge locations. I would say that edge locations are more used for the content delivery. Right? You might be wondering what on the earth is content delivery. Say, I try to explain through an example. What is a content delivery I'm talking about? So, I'll just take an example. Let's suppose that today you are located in the United States. I guess many people are located in the United States. And today you decide, okay, let me just leave the job and open my own company. So to set up your infrastructure, let's suppose today you decide, okay, let me just open an e-commerce platform and I will just sell some items on my website. So today you choose, for example, Oregon region as your preferred one, and you deploy your application services upon that. So this is your web server, xyz.com, and it's going great. You're getting so many orders of and the people are liking your product and services. So you're going great in the United States, and the people from the United States are browsing your website, and they are getting very good service out of it, and you are earning millions of dollars per year, right? But the thing is that now your organization is expanding. Means that people in Africa, people in India, they're also liking your service, and they are going to your website and they're accessing your services. Now, do you think that the people in India and Africa will get the same kind of service that the people in the United States? No. Why? Let's pick this person in India. Might be it's me. And today, I browse your site that is located in the United States. Means that my request will go through many hops and will reach your server in Oregon, which means that I will encounter something called latency. Because there's a huge deal of geographical space between India and United States, the web page will load up slowly for me as compared to the people in United States. Right? So I say, okay, if I'm getting users in India, then they will not think for only this one person, me. Let's suppose now thousands of people are liking your website, xyz.com. But there's a big challenge. If you think, okay, let's suppose you can think over, let me just now launch a region, duplicate my resources in India. But the question is, you don't have a region in India. How to counterattack this challenge? So to work on the solution where they don't have the presence in India as of now, they partnered with Reliance and Tata Communication Limited, and they picked up their data centers for the content delivery. They're saying, let us pick a data center in, let's suppose, in Chennai. For example, in Chennai. And what I will do is, this person in India will send the request. He will just browse my website, xyz.com. However, I will put all the contents of my website and put in the cache memory of this edge location in Chennai. What will happen is, this person in India will go to xyz.com in Oregon, but he will get the content from the edge location in Chennai. Again, I repeat, the person in India will be able to access my website, xyz.com, hosted in Oregon region, but the contents of the website he will get from the nearest edge location, either in Chennai or in Mumbai. This will somewhere reduce the latency for this user, and his web pages will load up faster than before. Now, you might be wondering, what on the earth I'm talking about the contents. Say, if I open this site, msn.com, these are the contents, these pictures. These pictures that you can see right now, these are the contents. I'm saying, let's suppose this msn.com is located and hosted on a server in the United States. What I will do is that this person can get this msn.com from the United States, but this content that I'm seeing, this picture files, video files, PHP, CSV files, the person would get the content from the edge location nearest to his place. You might have experienced this thing before. Sometimes the web pages open up properly, but the pictures it takes a hell of time to upload, to download, right? So you say, okay, well, the web page is loading up slowly. So as a workaround, I'm saying that, okay, Amazon.com might be hosted on the US site, but the contents, this picture files, this video files, the user will extract from the nearest edge location in India, in Chennai or Mumbai. Okay, so this is the concept of edge locations. Because what happens is that the farther your web server is, the chances are this will induce the latency. For example, let me just open the site, ping tools.pingdom.com. For example, I run a trace route for, let's suppose, CNN.com. CNN.com is a media channel that's being popular in the United States. I run a trace route on CNN.com, and let me see how many hops I get. Okay, so I'm getting 17 hops and a delay of 118 milliseconds, which means that from my location in Delhi, India, if I have to browse the CNN.com, my location will go through 17 different hops. Okay, let's suppose Google.in. Okay, it is just 7 hops. It was 17 hops for CNN.com. For the Google.in, it's just 7 hops. Right? So the lesser number of hops, the lesser will be latency, and the web pages would load up faster for me. So I'm saying that even if I'm getting too many hops, it's not worsen the situation, because the user will be able to get the contents from the nearest edge location. So that's the purpose. Yes, you're right, Rakesh. Like Akamai is a leader on the content delivery network service. I haven't used Akamai, but I've heard a lot about it. It's the same thing. It is the same thing. Okay. So that's about the edge location. Any questions? Any doubts? So I guess it's clear what an edge location is. Edge location is not owned by Amazon Web Services. Please keep this thing in mind. They are partner data centers. They have collaborated with different vendors across the globe to use the data centers for services like CloudFront, Route 53, Web Application Firewall, and these edge locations are especially used for the content delivery. The example that I showed you. Okay. So we'll see how this content is delivered using the CloudFront. We'll discuss that. Okay. So that's it. Okay. All right. So I'm not sure whether I should go further because well, there's so many topics left. Okay. Let's move a bit further. Today, you become an architect, an Amazon Web Services architect. You are certified. You are a champion in your field. And the clients approach you and say, hey, could you please deploy my services and applications on my behalf? You say, yes, sir, I'll do that for you. Now, you have to choose that which region is the best for your client. What are the things that will come into your mind before understanding that which region will suit your client the best? I would say which region you will pick for your client to deploy his services and applications on his behalf. So this is my question to you. Come up with your points so that we can make it as a discussion. So my question is that how you will decide which region is the best for your client as an architect. Just think about it and let me know what your input is. Alright, so we have some kind of inputs. Shrikant is saying depending upon the location of the client who will access the application. That's true. I agree with you. Sandeep is saying where my customers. Exactly. Cost. Different region, different cost. That's a good point. Mahesh is saying region closest to the customer region and will perform the speed test before decision. Okay, that's a good thing, Mahesh. And Sharad is saying then we'll decide the nearest DC for this deployment. Srinivas is saying nearest geographical location. Rakesh is saying I think US regions are cheaper than others. There's a contradiction upon that, Rakesh. But yes, we can agree with this point that different regions have different prices. I stress upon that point. So there are many things that come into the picture. We'll discuss those points one by one. So the first thing, as all you have presented, is user or the customer location. It makes sense, right? Today, if your client is in the United States, you will never go ahead and deploy his application in Asia Pacific. If you do that, he will bang your head because it's a design disaster that your customer is located in one continent and you have to deploy the application in another continent. So you have to choose that. You have to keep the note of this thing that where the customers or the clients, I would say that is a more appropriate term, where your clients, customers, and the employees are located. Might be my client says that I have the employees and customers across the globe, in Europe, Africa, Asia Pacific, South America. So I would say, okay, so sir, deploy your resources in almost all the regions and all the continents. So I have to gather the data that where my clients, customers, and the employees, his employees are located. Okay, that's the first and the foremost thing for me to understand. Second one is latency, because I want that my clients, customers, and employees should access the application and services hosted on Amazon Web Services cloud with minimum latency. Right? Now, how to calculate the latency? See, latency depends upon the geographical location. If I'm saying latency is somewhere inversely proportional to the geographical distance, I would say that. Distance, I would say that. Because the more the distance is, the lower will be latency. Okay, or the low latency means the higher is the distance. But I don't have any inch tape to show to the customer. Okay, Singapore is this much, Africa is this much, Europe is this much. So I have to have some stats in my hand to showcase to my client that okay, this region is the best for you. So there's a site. I always forget the name of it, but I'll just try to recall that. It's called Tools. Give me 1 second. You can just get that on the Google. It's called AWS Ping. Yeah, cloudping.info. cloudping.info is a site where you can just run the latency test. Now, right now, I'm in Delhi, India. From my location, I need to run a test that which region would be the best for me if today I decide to deploy the architecture for myself. So I click on HTTP ping. Now I'm just copying and pasting this link for you so you can try this one out. Okay, so I run an HTTP ping, and I will see that which region is giving the minimum latency. I expect the Singapore should give me the minimum, and these are the results. As expected, since Singapore is nearest to India, I'm getting the lowest latency from Singapore, 104 milliseconds. So I have the stats in my hand to showcase to my client that, hey sir, there's my Singapore. Singapore is the best for you because it is nearest to India, and also you'll get the lower latency. So you can run the test and get to know. The next one is the service availability. Now, not all the services, I repeat, not all the services are available in all the regions, because might be that some of the regions, they don't have the proper infrastructure to support those kind of services you're looking for. For example, if you just go to the site global infrastructure, just go to this see detailed list of offerings. Now over here, these are different services, different AWS services, and the ones which shows tick mark, which means that this region, North Virginia, has this service. North Virginia is the oldest and the first region from where the Amazon Web Services started. So you will see that North Virginia will contain all the services. For example, Amazon API Gateway, it is being available in North Virginia in Oregon, but it is not available in Northern California, Sao Paulo GovCloud. In Asia Pacific, API Gateway is available only in Singapore and Tokyo, and not in Sydney, Seoul, or Beijing. For example, there's Glacier. It is not available. Now, Glacier is not available in Singapore, but available in all the regions. All right. So you have to keep this thing in mind, that the service, the feature that the user is that your client is looking for, whether it is available in that region or not. Now, you're saying that, okay, then what? In that case, you can go for another region. Yes, you have to compromise on the latency, but you have to perform some calculations before you can just go about doing that. Okay. I guess someone has added a point. I'm sorry, Rakesh. Yes, latency will be directly proportional to distance, not the inversely proportional, because the more the distance, more will be latency. So distance is proportional to the latency. My mistake. Thanks for correction. So a distance would be proportional to the latency, because more is the distance, more is the latency. Thanks for correcting. My mistake. Okay. Sandeep is saying, what is that? Local regulation, you mean to say data residency requirements? Yes, Sandeep, that will come to the picture. I'll discuss that. Pricing. Now, different regions have different prices of the resources. There's a very good website. You can also browse that. It's called easy2prices.info or easy2instances.info. You can just also browse this website. I can just copy and paste this link for you. easy2instances.info. Now on this website, you can see the different prices of different instance types based upon different regions. For example, let me just reduce the columns to make it more. Hang on 1 second, please. Let me just refresh this page. Okay. Let's suppose that today I go for a T1 micro instance. I'll discuss the instance types later on, but it's a specification of my virtual machine. This cost me 0.020 US dollars hourly for the Linux, I guess, Linux on demand in the US East, North Virginia. Okay. So I'm saying it's a T1 dot micro or T1 micro. Right. This cost me 0.020 for the Linux instance. Let's suppose I switch between US East to Northern California. If I just search for it, the prices has gone up from 0.020 to 0.025. Okay, let's switch to Singapore. For Singapore, it is the same price. Let's choose, let's suppose, South America. For South America, it has gone up 0.027. You might be wondering that why that different regions have different prices for one resource. See, it all depends upon the cost of infrastructure in that particular location. Because many things come together, prices of land, electricity, resources. For example, in the United States, Northern California or the California is costlier as compared to North Virginia and Oregon. Singapore is the costliest region in Asia Pacific, and Tokyo as well. The land rates and the electricity rates are quite high. So depending upon the rates of the land, of setting up the infrastructure, electricity and everything, manpower, all those things compress together and determine the price of your resources. Okay. The fourth point is, that's being, I think Sandeep covered that. Yeah, Sandeep. Local regulation. So it's the same thing, security and compliance requirements. So also you have to see what are the security and compliance requirements of your organization or of the client. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in mind. So these are the 5 common things that you have to keep in your mind before deciding that which region is the best for your client. Plain and simple. Now, some of your clients say that, okay, we can compromise on latency, but we are too much concerned about the prices. Some clients will say, no, we have to save the money. So it all depends on some customers can compromise on latency, some can compromise on the pricing. So you have to keep these 5 things in mind before giving him the best possible solution or the design. Right now, once you move forward, there's a very good site. It's called tcocalculator.com. TCO calculator. Okay. Give me 1 second. I think I have. It's AWS TCO calculator. Yeah. Now this is a tool where you can differentiate between the prices of the infrastructure between different regions, and also you can differentiate between the on-premises deployment and your region. So you can put the values, the amount of the resources that you have in your data center and in the region, and you can get the prices. It's called tcocalculator.com. Total cost of ownership. Okay. So these are the 5 different factors that you will think about before deciding which region is the best for the deployment. So that's it. Okay. Tomorrow we'll just dive into few more concepts, because please don't expect that I will just dive into the practical stuff in the beginning sessions, because my motive is to hone your concepts first, because anyone can do the practical. Now, if you have the access to the AWS Management Console, you can just run around and can just click on anything. It will do something. But yes, clicking is not a thing that anyone can do that. But what's working at the back end, we have to understand. So my main concern is that the first 2 or 3 sessions will be completely conceptual and theoretical based. We'll do the practical, but we'll start the practical for the next week. More practical stuff. I show the practical tomorrow, but from the more practical stuff, we'll start from the next week. Tomorrow we'll deep dive into more concepts. We'll discuss the number of the type of accounts and all those kind of concepts in detail. All right. So that's it for today. I want to keep it on lighter note. Any questions, any doubts before we can just wind up? I think today's session has been informational and fruitful for you. Not too much. I kept it at a lighter note, but still, I guess that we were able to discuss a few important things on this platform. Thanks, Rakesh, Shrikant. Any questions, any doubts, please let me know right now. And I'm just typing in my email address, my direct email address. Just in case if you have any questions, you can get back to me. Right. So this is my email address. You can just get back to me whenever you want. I'm not saying Mahesh not able to see. You're not able to listen to me. I think there's something wrong with the Mahesh. Mahesh, I guess other people are able to hear me. Any more questions, guys? Any doubts before we wind up? Tomorrow we'll meet at the same time, same place. That's a webinar, and we'll continue with our conversation. One important thing, most important thing, at the end of this session, you'll get a nice feedback form. Please spend your 2 minutes of your time, not 2 minutes. It will not take more than a minute of your time to fill in the feedback form. So that feedback form contains 2 different areas, the instructor feedback and the content feedback. So anything that you feel, whether it's a positive or a negative, it's a good or bad, please mark your ratings. If you think that you can spend few seconds more, you can just type in your comments. Why I'm saying so? Because your feedback is quite necessary for us to understand that where we need to improve upon more. And also it is important for me to showcase to the management, okay, how I'm performing. So please, at the end of the session, just take some few seconds of your time and fill in the feedback form. Okay? So that's it all, guys. Thank you so much for your time and patience. I appreciate that you have spent your valuable time with me, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. All right? Till then, good night or good evening, or have a good day ahead, and bye-bye, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Goodbye.